Apple just took a huge step forward with something called Spatial Personas for the Apple Vision Pro. This update, while small, is important, making the way we connect with people online feel way more like they're actually there with us, and that makes the future feel wilder than ever. But what exactly is a spatial persona? Think of it as a realistic digital version of yourself. Unlike the avatars we've been seeing on other XR headsets, these are based on a scan of you. They can mimic your facial expressions in real time, whether you're blinking, frowning, or even sticking your tongue out. When the Vision Pro first came out, these personas were stuck inside these flat 2D boxes. It kind of made them look like those wanted posters from old Western movies, which didn't do them justice to how cool they actually are in 3D. But just 2 months after launching, Apple rolled out an update that changed everything. It's still in beta, but now your friend's avatar doesn't have to stay in a box. It can appear right in your room like it's actually there with you. It's like seeing a hologram just like in the movies, but for real. Today we're going to look into what you can do with your spatial persona right now, how Apple's idea is different from other XR headsets like HoloLens and Quest, and what the exciting future might hold for VR avatars in general. Stick around after a quick message from today's sponsor. Looking for an affordable entry into the PC VR world? Meet the DPVR E4. Thanks to them for sponsoring this part of the video. Priced at $500 US, it's a budget-friendly option to high-fidelity VR experiences. It boasts a near 4K resolution and 120Hz refresh rate, but what sets the E4 apart isn't just its price or specs, it's surprisingly easy to set up and user-friendly. Its lightweight design, flip-up feature for quick real-life peeks, and customizable lighting make it stand out. Yes, it has its compromises, but for those looking to dive into cool Steam VR games without the hefty price tag, the DPVR E4 offers great value. I make it even better with an exclusive $50 discount with this code. Check out the link below. Let's continue. So I had an amazing time trying out spatial personas with two of my friends, Nate and Disco VR, who you might know. They live far away from me, making it hard to meet up in person. But with spatial personas, it suddenly felt like we were in the same room together. We dove into hours of fun, playing games, doodling on a digital whiteboard, exploring 3D models, and watching movie trailers, all of it perfectly in sync. Before I knew it, it was past 8 p.m. and I hadn't even thought about dinner. I was so engrossed. It was like we were physically hanging out in my place, although physically alone, or digital selves were hopping into each other's spaces, making it feel like we were truly sharing time together. But this concept of joining friends in mixed reality isn't something Apple invented. Yeah, I know, Apple never really invents things. Meta has been exploring similar ideas with apps like Horizon and had something similar to spatial persona features called Oculus Home, but they discontinued it. I think they should bring it back. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Other apps like VR Chat and Spatial can do similar things too. And Microsoft's been on this train with their HoloLens already, allowing for meetups in Microsoft Mesh, although that one isn't really for consumers. But after trying most of these, what I think sets Apple's spatial personas apart is how they bring our digital selves to life. The way these avatars show our facial expressions and natural hand movements makes the experience incredibly lifelike. It's a level of realism and presence I haven't found anywhere else. And the way you can use them with all kinds of third-party apps simultaneously is also not possible on other platforms yet. More about this in a bit. First up, how do you dive into this? Spatial personas kick in with a quick tap on a button during FaceTime calls on the Vision Pro. But remember to make sure your device is up to date, as this beta feature is only for those using Vision OS 1.1 or newer. You can do it with up to 5 people, but it only works if at least one other person on the call has a Vision Pro. When you're in it, the person you're talking to pops up as a head, including some shoulders and hands that seem to float. Right now you don't get to see a full body, and you can only see a sort of outline if you're standing behind someone, kind of like they're wearing an invisibility cloak. It's like talking to a half-finished 3D scan of your friend. Even so, it feels surprisingly real. I'm still impressed that the tag can guess facial expressions just by tracking your eyes and mouth. I mean, your face is not actually tracked by the headset. It does track your hands, and it shows it in a natural way with a pretty wide range, which is impressive, although this could still be improved. And during these hangouts, you can use apps that support share play to share stuff between your spatial personas without any noticeable delay. You can drag a zone around your room where shared apps or screens live. You can stay put or walk around if you want, but as you interact, you can rotate your view of everyone else and it will adjust as if they're moving around you. Apple's Freeform app, which is like a virtual whiteboard, got way more interesting now. My friends and I could all draw together. I could use apps like Files and Photos to drag and drop documents and images onto it in real time. These are the same apps you might use on your iPhone or iPad, and it got me thinking about all the creative stuff people could create together without having to physically go to one another. Movies turned out to be super fun too. Before, watching movies with SharePlay felt lonely, but now it's like your friends are sitting right there with you, experiencing everything together. You can also switch up the environment so everyone sees it, so you can sit on the moon together or in a virtual cinema. Nate also dropped some 3D models right into my room for us to check out. We were looking at some amazing barbecue sauce and the Iron Man himself. I can imagine designers collaborating on projects like this in real time without having to be together. Playing board games in game room was also better than before. Now we can physically move pieces and walk around the game table, making everything feel more real. It's not all perfect though. The avatars look like ghosts sitting somewhere on the edge of being a bit creepy. The facial expressions are well done for a beta version, so it definitely still needs work. Sometimes the movements might seem a tad rigid, and trying to lock eyes with my friend's avatar feels a bit misaligned, as if we're not quite making direct eye contact. However, I must tip my hat to Apple. The experience feels significantly less unsettling when you're actually immersed in it. The challenge is capturing the essence of these 3D avatars in a 2D video like the one you're watching right now doesn't quite do it justice. However, this doesn't change the fact that improvements could enhance the experience, such as adding the rest of the body, like legs, something we've given Meta a lot of for. And on the technical side, there are a few limitations. For instance, it seems like your friends can magically know where to sit in your space, but actually they cannot see your room at all. They see their own space, and it just looks convincing when they sit in places in your room, thanks to some clever positioning tricks. Well, I just asked them to sync up their chair with mine. You can stream your first-person view to others so they can see your space, but they will watch it on a flat screen, which isn't the same. And right now, sharing is a bit limited. Not all apps support SharePlay yet, so not all of them can be shared in a 3D space. Instead, they will show up as a flat screen. Plus, you can only share one app at a time right now. But remember, this whole spatial persona feature is still in beta, so there's room for growth. Imagine if one day we could share our entire rooms in a way that lets others truly see into our spaces, which would essentially mean that we could teleport for real. How wild would that be? But I guess that's still very challenging, as how do you make sure we don't walk into walls while exploring a friend's virtual home? But that's something for them to solve. When you look at other VR platforms like MetaQuest, they've got apps like Horizon, VRChat, Spatial, or Big Screen, which also have features that let you hang out with friends in virtual spaces. However, there are a few things that make Apple's spatial personas different and in some ways more advanced. First off, the avatars you see on platforms like Quest are more cartoon-like, but of course they let you be whoever you want, which is cool, and some people might prefer this. But if you want it to look more realistic, there's nothing quite like how Vision Pro mimics facial expressions. Yes, the Quest Pro can do something similar, but it isn't as accurate as a Vision Pro, and since the avatars look cartoony, Apple's Personas is better at making it feel like you're actually with your friends or colleagues. The biggest and most important difference though is how Apple lets you multitask with different apps during a Spatial Persona Hangout. On Quest, you're stuck doing just one app at a time, limited by what that app offers. With Vision Pro, you can be on a FaceTime call, sharing a Disney Plus movie with a Spatial Persona friend far away, and at the same time, you can open different apps by third-party, non-Apple developers like browse on Instagram or Reddit. You can check your stocks or even get some work done on your MacBook, all within the same virtual space at the same time with that call. The thing I love about Vision Pro is that you're able to take advantage of what already exists in the Apple ecosystem. Apps that you probably already use like Discord, Game Pass, or your password manager. Your friend won't be able to see what you're doing except for that one thing you're sharing. I mean, it's really cool. But this technology isn't for everyone. If your loved ones are close by, this is definitely not a replacement for in-person meetups. And the Vision Pro is still too pricey. And let's be real, this still doesn't justify the cost. At $3,500, the price must become much more accessible for it to have value for the majority. But you know, I'm making this video not about the sticker price, it's more about how this update marks a significant step forward, setting a new standard for avatars, and it challenges other VR makers to up their game, which is exciting for the future of VR in general. Plus, the potential to feel closer to distant friends and family is compelling. I often wish I could have shared more moments with my late grandmother who lived across the ocean. Like virtual chess sessions with her while catching up would have been invaluable. It would have been the next best thing other than flying over. This vision of telepresence, something Mark Zuckerberg has talked about for years, is starting to become a reality with the Vision Pro first. But this is of course more than just about keeping in touch, it's also opening new ways of collaborating, learning, perhaps even performing, and more. Plus, Spatial Personas are still only in beta, so it can get better, and looking at how fast Apple is updating the device, I'm optimistic about what's to come. We might see avatars that look like holograms soon, and hopefully devices that can do a lot more at more affordable prices. As you can probably tell, I'm a fan of the Vision Pro, and just so you know, I bought it myself, so I'm not selling you anything. I'm just genuinely excited about the future of VR, and I wanna share that excitement. So I'm Cas, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to never miss anything. It's also a huge support and helps me continue creating content.